Congratulations. Obviously, no match in a Grand Slam is easy, but talk us through your thoughts of your performance today.
Yeah, I think I played really well today. I think after the first 6 games or so, I think I really, obviously found my footing and was able to kind of run with it and fight off a couple of break points. So overall, super happy with how I played today.
Congratulations, Maddie. She's someone I think a lot of people probably hadn't heard of before this year, but she's had some good results. She was on the Belgian team that beat the U.S. team also. I'm curious just what you made of her game and what you were able to figure out.
The U.S. team, we also played her in Lake Nona last year, so I knew of her, and so I had an idea. And then obviously she played so well against the U.S. team a couple of weeks ago, so I definitely thought that I was going to have to come out and really stick to my game. And I think that I did a really good job just kind of doing what I wanted to do and sticking with that.
Congratulations. You landed almost 75% of your first serves today. Was that like a point of emphasis for you, or was it just more like you just got into a good rhythm and things were just working out? Or were you just really trying to make a concerted effort, maybe take a little bit off your first serve and get it in there and play from there?
I feel like it's playing so bouncy that my kick serve was working so well. So I think I was actually probably using that maybe a little bit more than I normally would, which is a little bit obviously of a safer serve. So I think that made a big impact.
Yeah. And just a quick question, I guess maybe this is more of a rhetorical question, but you pulled out of the final 125 in Strasbourg. It's safe to assume
Paris.
I'm sorry.
Paris.
Yeah. Safe to assume that your health-wise, everything is good now? Feeling 100%?
Good today.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We're good today.
All right. Fair enough.
Hi, Maddie. Congrats on the win. I wanted to ask if you have noticed the extreme proliferation of dogs at tournaments lately, and obviously tiny dogs because they have to travel. But I feel like every player has a dog now, and it's like nothing new, but I feel like it's really boomed in the past year, and I wonder if you have noticed that and if you would ever consider. You don't travel with a dog, right?
There's a lot of dogs.
Okay. You have feelings about the dog.
There's just a lot of dogs. Dogs are great. I think dogs are of large responsibility, though.
Okay.
So as long as we're doing that, then I think dogs are wonderful.
Oh, you're saying people could maybe be more responsible.
I'm not saying anything.
Gotcha.
I'm saying that dogs are a big responsibility, and we all need to take care of dogs.
Okay.
I personally really like sleeping in and don't like going for walks in the rain, so I don't have a dog yet because I'm not ready for that responsibility. So you will not see me on tour with a dog.
Do you understand maybe the benefit of why a tennis player who kind of lives this nomadic, like solid, do you get why they do it though?
100%. I think it's so funny. Haley has her dog who's like so sweet and so cute, but she's like literally, I just like sit in the room and I'm like, just like hold my dog. Like I'm obsessed. She's like so happy. So I totally see how it feels like a little bit of normalcy and a piece of home, and what are they called? Emotional support animals. So like I can see where that's valid when we travel so much to have a little bit of just like something that we love.
Hi, Maddie. From Ava's question to dogs, I'm going to sliding, so varied topics here. I read in a recent interview that you said sliding on clay is like the most challenging aspect, and
I said that?
That's what I read.
Oh.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe you have an opinion that's different to that.
I think sliding, once you figure it out, it's kind of easy.
Okay. How do you get to figure it out?
I think I was lucky that I grew up in South Florida. So I mean, we have green clay, which is obviously different, but close enough that you can learn at least the footwork. And it was really just your coach telling you to go out. And honestly, sometimes we would just run from sideline to sideline, learning how to slide with both feet.
Was that fun or grueling?
It started fun. It was kind of how quickly you picked up how to slide was like, did it stay fun or did it become more of a workout? But I think just having all of those reps, I was able to just kind of figure it out. And I think you see the people who grow up on clay, it's a pretty natural movement. And then I think you see other people who maybe they kind of struggle at first in their career, but then it's almost like this light bulb moment when they do finally get it. It just feels like all of a sudden all these doors open up.
What does a good slide feel like?
A good slide feels like you have just the right amount of pressure in your feet so you can kind of keep going as far as you want. And it's just you time it perfectly. I was always so impressed with Kiki Bertens because she was the best, in my opinion. She was one of the best movers on clay, and she timed everything so perfectly. And she would slide with her outside leg so well, and she was always exactly where she wanted to be.
Hey, Maddie. Earlier, Coco said that she didn't receive a response from the Australian Open after the incident with the smashing the racket in the hallway, and she or not even an apology. Back when it happened, a lot of people said that you were quite active in when the cameras were first put in. You were really active in the player council and wanting them to be taken out. So I'm curious about your perspective on that whole situation.
I guess it's not a new thing for me to be upset about when things like that happen. I feel like every single time I see some video on social media of some player having a total meltdown, and it's like all of the comments that come with it and the judgment and everything, there's so much of our lives that we have to do publicly that I feel like it's becoming a little big brother, that a lot of times you forget that there are cameras, because why would there be a camera watching you 24/7 a day? And I think especially sometimes you forget that there's microphones on them as well. So it's just another layer of having to make sure that you're public facing all of the time, and it just feels like we're getting a little too overbearing, I think, with all of the cameras. And I know people love them because it's content and whatever, but if you had to walk around your entire workplace with cameras all over, and at any moment if you did something dumb, it was going to be on social media, you would probably feel the way that I do as well.
Did you feel your complaints were even kind of taken on board or responded to or at all?
I think the players agreed with me, but it just kind of, the powers that be, and they were approved, so it was just moving forward. And obviously the way that the tours work, the players and the tournaments have to both agree to things in order to make a rule move forward. And if the players want it, but the tournaments think that it's great and it's good for broadcasting and they make more money, then we're just going to have kind of a stalemate there. So I got some signs that are put up, and now they say, "You're being broadcasted."
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, big win.
I'm doing something that looks ahead to the Open, Maddie, and it's about American players, how they deal with crowds at big matches at the Open compared to other venues of the Slam specifically. And I wonder, for me, if you could just compare what it was like to play Arena in Ash 2023 compared to what it was like to play her in the Aussie Open final. Like, how did the crowd and the atmosphere in the two venues, one, of course, you're a home player, how did those affect you and whatnot?
I think that pretty much every time I've ever played at the US Open in front of a big crowd, a small crowd, a late night crowd, I've always had just the greatest experience, and they have helped me get back in matches. They've helped me in tough moments. And I think looking back at the US Open match against Serena, I think they really helped me kind of reset after the second set and then, play really good tennis again. And even when I lost the leads and things like that, there was still so much support that it's just a place that I've always felt like there's nothing like being an American playing in Ash with a home crowd.
I'm just curious for your level of intrigue, excitement, curiosity, whatever it may be, about the speculated Serena Williams comeback to tour this year?
I think that Serena Williams playing tennis is only good for tennis. Let's be real. We all want to watch Serena play tennis. So I am excited to see. I'm going to check some entry lists occasionally, see what pops up. But yeah, I mean, she's the GOAT. So I think it would be amazing if she comes back.
You know, it seems like a pretty universal sentiment, like everyone's just excited about this possibility. Yeah.
I mean, you literally get to watch history every single time she takes the court. So why not watch more?